It's Wednesday, and I'm streaming! This is what I do on Wednesdays, apparently. Yeah. Sorry, I have a cough drop in my mouth again. So if you hear like a little clacking around, that's... Sorry about that. Anyway, God. Hello, Array of Emotions! Hey, head first only! What's up? Nice to see. Nice to see you guys. Oh, fuck. You know what? Fuck me. I am so fucking tired. Jesus Christ, I'm not gonna fucking lie. Sorry. Hey, Melinda and Warsha is in the house. Alright. Anybody else super fucking tired? Oh my god. Yeah, I'm really tired. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be like awake. Let's just wake the fuck up. I wish, I don't know. I didn't have like normally like if I have like some coffee before I start this, it's a little too like a jittery, I guess. More like cracked out squirrel. So so I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just go without the coffee. And hey, Sean Solo Beats! It's been a long time. All right, yay! Oh my god, we got a full house today. So yeah, I'm gonna like be as awake and aware for you guys as much as possible. And that's my crazy face. By the way, I pull a lot of fucking crazy faces. This is what I do. This is how my face works. Sean Solo Beat says, yeah, I missed last week because I'm a dummy and forgot what time zones are. Oh my goodness. Have you become my mother? My mom's the same way. She's like, what time is it? I'm like, Mom, it's like, it's 11 o'clock p.m. She's like, oh, it's late. You have to go to sleep. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, you called me. That's how it goes, man. But it's okay. I have to be like, it's like I get it. Time zones kind of, weird because, I'm in the future and, time travel. Sean Solo Beat says, I am in fact your mother now. I knew it. Have you become a very short Filipino woman? Yeah. Probably in dire need of a haircut. Yeah. Anyway, tonight, I am going to try. Chantal Beat says, I have made some drastic changes since we last met. Oh my god. What are the drastic changes? Hey, Robin's in the house. You made it this time. Well, Robin says, hi, I made it this time. Also, hi, Ryako's mother. Yeah, my mom's not here, by the way. But unless you're saying hi to Chantal Beats, in which case, hi, Mom. No, I'm not going to do that to you. It's okay. So, Chantal Beats, what drastic changes have you made since you were last here? By the way, Robin, in my chat, by the way, you guys, Robin is like my awesome fan in Belgium who actually who came to see me at a musical I was performing in last year. And yeah, and he's just super nice, and so I just gave him a bunch of merch and shit, and I was like, here you go. Thank you so much for like not like thinking that the music I make is completely awful and terrible, because I don't know, like most of the time I think like people are somewhat indifferent, or they're just like hey, it's okay, but it's not my thing, and I'm just like, all right, cool. I mean, it's like I don't expect everybody to like what I make. It's fine, but sometimes you're just like, wow, I just spent so much fucking time making this, and you like just completely dismissed it in like 5 seconds. Thanks. And I'm sure any of you who make music, you know what I'm talking about. And even like, you know what? Not just music, just art in general. For Noirjar, I know you draw. Like, isn't it like really shitty when you've been working on a piece and somebody's like, it's not my kind of thing, and you're like, oh god, god, why? Why did you even say that? Like, just shut up. Say nothing. Say nothing. Gunner Zero Recall's in the house. Where are the white women at? Oh, just telling you, they ain't here. Oh my god, what are you guys talking about? Yeah, Sean Solo Beats, why are you saying, like, your life has changed and, like, just... and don't tell me you became my mother, because that didn't happen. Because I know you didn't. Yeah. Yeah, just settle for Sean Solo, Gunner Zero Recall. Just settle. It's okay. Anyway. Oh, I guess it's shouting time. All caps in the chat. Yeah. All the caps in the chat right now. Go ahead. I mean, look, I'm not gonna be mad. It's just like caps. Oh, Marshar says, yeah, I hate it when people want me to draw on command. Yeah, like you're fucking performing monkey shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, oh yeah, just draw on command, just do it. And you're just like, I'm getting anxious right now as you stand over my shoulder and breathe on my neck. So, thanks. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's what happened. Gunner Zero Recall says, that's what happens when Gunner enters the chat. What happens is that everything goes all caps. Everyone starts shouting, like type shouting. That's not really shouting, but I mean, in real life, I think everybody would just have like a shouting like contest. Okay, you know that song, like jump around, jump up and up, get down, jump. Okay, all right. So you know that song. So my friend Kel and I, we were at this club before. And basically, it's just like a bunch of super drunk people in this club. And I don't think I was super drunk. But anyway, we were dancing. And that song came on. And it's like there was a guy like next to us. And so my friend Kel started jumping. So when you know that part in the song that goes jump, and you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna jump, man. I don't care if I'm wearing heels, it's cool. And so you jump, and every time jump, they say jump, you say you're gonna jump, all right? So basically, this guy totally like, he was just like, first he was like sort of like side-eyeing us, and then he's like, I'm gonna jump higher than you guys. And we're like, the fuck? Is this for real? Like, is he competing with us? And so my friend jumps, the guy jumps higher. My friend jumps really high, guy jumps higher. And pretty soon it's a jumping contest. And then it's like, yeah. And then it's just bad. Because at that point, my friend won. And then somehow, instead of like the guy being like mad or really super competitive, it was just like, oh man, you're cool. And that was the jump, that song. So jump. Yes, please. Jump up, and get down. Jump. Okay, stop. Anyway, Head First Only says, it's Inktober next month. Oh! So I'm kind of thinking of doing that for the month. That's a good idea. You should. Head First Only, by the way, is a fantastic artist. Who do you think drew the shit for Motorhead? Yeah, that's right, bitch. Head First Only, really great artist. He has his own wiki page. That's how good he is. Yeah, and then it's like, oh wow. Oh god. So Inktober, yeah. Noirshire, feel free to do Inktober. I should probably do Inktober. I gotta draw some more stuff. Does Inktober allow just for like using a tablet? Do I have to use ink? Because like I'm just asking. Does anyone know? I've never done Inktober. Okay. Oh, Raven Motion says, oh man, what year was that song from? Was that 99? I don't know. You think I have that kind of memory? No. Sean Solobeat says, I always start jumping and then 3 to 4 jumps in, I remember that I have bad knees and want to die. Yeah. If you got bad knees, man, it's like nobody's gonna be, just be like, do little baby jumps, or like just like a kind of like just crouch down and like that, and just be like, I've got bad knees. and they're like, all right, yeah. You know, it'll be like that. You could make it cool. I'm sure you could pull it off. You could totally pull it off. Headfirst Only says Ice Cube turned that song down. Bet he wishes he hadn't. Probably. Yeah. He's like, oh, damn it. Because it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Anyway, let's see. 89. Gunner Zero Recall says that song is from 89. Oh my god, you looked it up. Oh, nice. Wow. Jesus Christ. You know what? It's still fucking banger. It still slaps. I'm just saying. It still makes me want to do it's like, yeah. You know? Like when somebody plays We Are the Champions, isn't there part of you that rejoices and it's just like, yes, we are the champions. That's right. You know? Or We Will Rock You. And then you're like, all right, I feel it. The ghost of Freddie Mercury has inhabited my body and possessed me. And yeah. Yeah. So it's really interesting, like, to see that kind of, to see which songs, like, last, like, the test of time. Like, which ones still make you want to, like, jump up and get down. Or, you know, just do that whole, like, boom, boom, tsh, boom, boom, tsh. Yeah, you know? Yeah. Gunner Zero Recall says, I've heard We Are the Champions and We Will Rock You has been overplayed. I get hype from Killer Queen. I love Killer Queen. Killer Queen. I just love it. Because it just reminds me of my big fluffy cat whose name is Queenie. And yeah, she used to be really vicious. So I used to think of her as Killer Queen. And I just imagine her like kind of like always having Moet and Shando. Or is it? Like, I forgot the lyrics. And then you're just like, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Big ol' Dave, dude. Hey. Yeah. Hey, guys. Oh my god. Walk This Way, Norjar says. Yeah. It still makes me like, you know, still gets me going. It's like, yes. Okay. All right. So I talked about songs that just make you feel like you like that are still making you jam. What are your songs? What are the songs that, you know, even though they're old, even though they've been played a lot, what are the songs that still get you kind of like pumped, like you're ready for possibly a fight or at the very least a hot dog eating competition? What's the song for you? So for me, it's a We Will Rock You, probably. That, like, yeah, that one's a good one. Yeah. So I don't know what you guys. Yeah, you guys are all talking about how old you are in the chat. I love it. I love how it's just like, oh my god! Like when you bring up older songs, it's like you realize, oh good god, I'm old, and then you're just like, shit, I'm old. Yeah. Big ol' Dave Dude says, I'm a crust-ass old man. And I'm like, crusty-ass old man. He corrected me. Yeah. Gunner Zero Recall's like, just sharing how he's like born in 91. Yeah. So yeah, people all over, you know, all ages. I'm here for it. I mean, pretty much you're all freaking nerds. So I feel it, man. Oh, Chantal said, oh no, I need to resub to Gunner. Okay. Yeah. You lost your alpha emote? I don't know what that is. But I don't know anything about emotes or anything like that. I'm terrible at all of that, basically. Yeah. I'm just terrible at everything. Pretty much. Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole of self-deprecation. Gunner Zero Recall says, that's Alfred Riff as an emote. Yeah, this emote. Oh, okay. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, what does that look like? Like, is that Zoidberg? What is that? Narjai says, I am looking forward to building a catapult and launching fruit at neighbor kids. Oh my god, really? That's kind of awesome. Why? Why Are you gonna build a catapult? That's kind of cool. I mean, if your neighbor kids are really shitty and really out of control, you don't have to launch fruit at them. You could launch stinky things, like or if you launch fruit, make sure it's rotten and soft, because you don't want to take a head off. You just want to like make them stinky, right? Like so like yeah. I think rotten oranges are terrible. They smell terrible. Do that. If you're gonna chuck fruit at bad neighborhood kids, then make sure it's rotten and that they can have, that they can't derive any nutritional value from it. Because fuck them. I'm so sorry. That's not nice. That's not nice. Anyway, alright. Hope everyone's doing okay. Y'all seem to be good. Yeah. Nice. And, yeah. I want to see this. Yeah. I see the emotes. My god. See. I'm terrible. I'm terrible, and I don't look at things, and they're so good at like all these things, like knowing what all the stuff is. It's like I'm just getting used to happy faces, honestly. Like I'm pretty good with happy faces. This is like a lot. This is a lot. Okay, I'm checking my messages now. I see. That looks really like, yeah. That's so weird. I do, if I get like, I wonder if I get one later, maybe. The emote, Big Ol' Dave Dude says, this emote is hilarious. It's straight broke alpha. It's really funny. Big Ol' Dave Dude says, it's alpha when he was a model. By the way, alpha is my friend Warren, who's also known as Alpha Riff, and you should check him out. He's also on Twitch. So yeah, cute. That's okay. Yeah. So tonight, I guess I'll be doing more Metropolis stuff. Last week I had an issue with my computer. And it was like, bitch, you won't play. Why won't you play the shit? And then it was like 17,000 like CPU usage, and I'm like, this is a bunch of bullshit. So yeah. That happened. Anyway, I kind of went through a recap last time of the music that I made, but I guess what I'll do is I also wanted to break down how I score this, because I realized that I kind of I play the music for you, and I kind of show you sort of like what instruments I use. But I didn't like actually tell you what happens in my mind when I'm watching something, and then how I start doing that. So I guess I'll go over that. Okay. So let me see. Big Ol' Dave Dude says, someone yell at Alpha like he does to us. Yeah. Yell at him. Yeah. Just be like, Alpha. All caps. All caps. If you could get a bold option, you would, I'm sure. I'm gonna switch over to my display thing, and then I'll yeah. Okay. So last time I was trying to play this, and that didn't work out well. But what I can do is, like, I rendered it, and I did like, I kind of made like a little video so it was easier on my computer, because it wasn't like playing, it wasn't playing right. And so I figure I'll kind of like, I'll show you what I look for, I guess. And I'll start sort of from the stuff I've already done, because it's just easier, and then I can show you the new stuff after that. But let me open this with VLC. Yeah, your stream is set to Jackbox. Is it? Oh shit! Fucking fuck, fuckity fuck, fuck. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna go change that. Shit. Uh-oh. Don't stop. Oh my god, I suck. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm lame and I'm terrible and I need to like get my shit together. Yeah? Okie dokies. Yeah, it's cause last time I was on I was playing Jackbox games because yeah, that's what I was doing and I was trying out a new pack I got. And so I didn't shit. I don't even know where the fuck I'm supposed to like go on here to change my shit. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Can you just damn it. Oh my god. Alright, edit stream info on the right. Okay. Oh. Oh my god, you're amazing! Big ol' Dave dude! Okay. But yeah, thanks for looking out for me. Cause this is actually music. It's just music. I'll just put that. Sure. Done. Boom. Thank you guys so much. Big ol' Dave dude, you the best! You're the best! Alright. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is my desktop, by the way. What is it that I keep up? What kind of photo do I have? It's an old-timey photo of traffic being stopped so that a mother cat can take her kitten across the street and everybody's watching. Because around this time it's like, ooh, cameras, exciting. Now it's just like people would just honk and be like, get out of the way, get that cat, come on, let's move it. But look, they're all sweet. They're all like, you know, watching the kitty. Because I love the kitties. I do. Okay, so when I look at Big ol' Dave says, now let's get you that affiliate so we can sub to you and spam your emotes. You know what? I already qualify for it. I'm waiting for like an email or something. And yeah. I'm waiting for an email or something like that. For them to be like, hey, you've been approved. Or you have not been approved. Get out of our face. You disgusting person. Yeah, one of those. It's one of those. Yeah. Headfirst only says, look at the traffic cop platform in the middle of the street at the back. What the fuck? Oh shit, you're right. I've never noticed that. I just thought that was like a, I don't know. I don't think I noticed that. I've looked at this fucking thing like every day. And I'm like, oh well, look, there's a little platform up there. They're directing traffic or something. Bill Day Dude says, oh damn, the emails have made their rounds. I'd search around your email for it. Oh, I just like applied, so yeah. I think it might not, it won't be like the next time around maybe. So, who knows? And also like as a foreigner, kind of as an American living in another country and as a person with dual citizenship, it's kind of weird. I don't know. So I know it takes a couple business days. For some people it takes a week. And I know like I'm not like normal. Oh no, like yeah, all the payouts. Yeah, I just had to do all that shit. A bunch of filling in things, and I don't know. We'll see what happens, okay? I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait, and I'll try to be like cool, and if it doesn't happen, then I can just go cry a little, but I'll still stream because, you know, you guys are great. Headfirst only says, I would want that job. You'd want to work in that tower? It's a tower, aren't you? What if there's a fire? You can't escape. Well, okay. If your tower gets set on fire, where do you go? Do you like hang glide out of there or something? It's not high enough. Gunner Zero says, I've done that before. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So when I'd have a zipline set up. That's a good idea, Headfirst only. A zipline. Gunner Zero Recall says, I used to be a cop. Cool. Being a cop is cool. It's not my kind of job. I think it's just because I'm not intimidating anybody. Like, no one's scared of me. So, I don't know. I'm not really like, I don't know if I command any like authority or if I'm like authoritative in any way whatsoever. So, yeah. Yeah. It's not gonna fucking happen. Okie dokies. So, alright. Women have been the best cops in my opinion, Gunner Zero Recall says. Oh really? Hold on. Oh really? Probably. Maybe I'm hoping they're a little bit more like mentally balanced. Perhaps less likely to, I don't know, to react with violence in the first 5 minutes of a situation, you know? This is like, you know, it's just a guess. All right. So anyway, all right. So when I look at a scene, I look for certain things. Okay. So when I was doing this scene with the workers, and I'll play a little bit for you. It's like I'm always looking for little you guys are having fun in the chat. A lot of Gunner Recall says a lot of criminals have a mommy complex, and them screaming at them, the people react differently than a man doing the same thing. Shansol Beat says this explains Gunner's aggression. You guys. Okay, so I'm gonna play this for you, and I'm gonna show you what I usually look for, because when I'm looking at a scene, when you look at a silent film in general, it's kind of weird because you're not like dealing with normal stuff like dialogue. You're not, you know, usually in modern movies there's usually dialogue or something. There's usually there are usually very clear cut events, clear scene changes, and with a lot of silent movies, I mean, the editing was not that tight. It wasn't like that, you know. It was, let's film as much as we can with whatever little we can because we don't have a ton. And you'll understand when you watch something like, you know, The Voyage to the Moon or something like that. Spotting. Headfirst Only says spotting. Spotting? I don't know what that means. Is it? I know what that means, but I don't know how you mean it. Okay. So yeah. And with silent movies, I think especially it's like they have their own like sort of visual pace, but there's no like auditory pace. So everything's silent. Oh, Headfirst Only says watching a scene to identify the emotional beats. Yes, exactly. But with this, I think with silent films, it's a little bit more difficult, and certainly with a lot of them, they're not like edited in a way where they automatically give you that sort of visual beat. You kind of have to, at least what I've learned from this film, it's been how to look at it and kind of break it up into sections. It's a lot of work trying to like sort of edit it in your mind. You can't just, you have to give the listener a kind of, you know, you have to give them moments, at least the way I understand it. Okay, by the way, I'm not like a fucking professional. I didn't go to school for this. This is just my opinion. This is just me probably pulling shit out of my ass. But I'm just gonna tell you what I do anyway. So I watch this usually. And I like, if you watch it just without any kind of sound, you'll sort of, you know, it's like you just watch that. I'm playing this is part of the beginning, and so you see it, and it's like, you're like, oh, you know. So it doesn't come with sound. So you have to kind of create your own sort of your pauses, your stops, your starts. You get something like that thing, that title that said shift change. You get something like that, and that's really good. Like if you have titles, they're super helpful, but you can't rely on the titles from this whole thing. You kind of have to create your own sort of pacing, and there won't be enough titles for that. Like, at least in this film, there aren't enough, like, to give you that very clear stop and start. And especially when you're progressing through the movie. In the beginning, they give you, I think, they give you more titles, more title cards. But that's because they're introducing characters, and they're introducing environments, and also, like, motivations. So when I looked at this, it was like, okay, when I see this sort of thing, it's like, all right, I see this going off. You get a title card, all right, shift change. Then you get this, okay? And if you look at it, it's like, all right, how do I do this? Would I just do pads to this? And by pads, I mean like just really soft instruments. No, this is not a soft instrument kind of thing. You look at it and you think, they're moving double time here. They're moving double time on one side, like a single on the other. So it's the movement gives you a clue as to how this should sound. The beat, it gives you a clue as to what beats should, where the beats should hit, what the BPM should be. And it also gives you that feeling. Ray of Emotion says, so my brain is totally adding the Ryako music score to the scene already. No. Yeah. But the thing is, with everybody has their own way of scoring this film. Everybody who's ever tackled this film, they've infused it with their own thoughts, with their own idea of what the scene should feel like. And for me, I thought, okay, I looked at the scene and I thought, okay, they're not really pointing out individuals. It's just like this mass of people, almost like a singular organism. And it's just these people who are looking, their heads are bent down. They're not like marching, with back straight. They're kind of like slumped forward, and they're kind of, trudging along. They don't look particularly healthy or clean or energetic or happy. So what does that tell me? It tells me it's dark, it's sad, it's oppressive. These people they don't come across as people. They come across as cogs in a machine because of all that machinery image in the beginning. So you got all the machinery image, you got the little, like, all that shit, right? So I'm gonna I'll play the sound for you. And then you'll see. So we get like there's a clear, like, sort of like a beat. And there are already things to sort of set the rhythm. There's So watch their feet. Watch how fast they move. They all move at a certain speed. Okay, so you see how they move. You see how dark it is. You see how it's, there are sounds that. What are the visuals? You get steam. You get these. You get the feeling of like slavery, and that's why I put those sounds in there. That kind of those sticks like click 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 click. That that's why I put that in there. And I think that you're with this stuff, with silent film stuff, I think you have to be extra careful with that. Otherwise it changes. Every little thing changes the emotional current in there. And you can imbue this with, like, you can take a scene that maybe, it's like that maybe like other composers, other people who made scores to this, maybe they didn't imbue it with as much emotion or with as much significance. But when I see like something like this, something that is very clearly like it's the beginning of the film, it's setting you up for that darkness. It's setting you up for, to at least understand the plight of these people. Then it's like, okay, this is important then. So going through a film like this, going through any kind of silent film, you have to sort of find those significant moments. Find the moments that hit you the most emotionally. And it'll be different for everybody, but most of the time there'll be very, like, some clear parts. Headfirst Only says, the metallic percussion is a perfect choice. No word of a lie. One of my Bristol music buddies actually bought himself an anvil this week. Only a small one, though. Only a small anvil. We just wanted the baby anvil. But I guess we'll get the big one later. Alright. So, moving on. So when you look at... So what I'm doing is I'm going over... I'm kind of trying to do a recap, but I'm also trying to show you why I did the things I did before I started the next... Before I play the next thing for you. Because I need you to understand... well, rather, I want to show you how I do this. Because it's not very straightforward. Something like this... if you look at a regular movie, and let's say it's a movie, it's a modern movie, it's very clear. Usually, the editing is very clear, the content is very clear. Headfirst Only says, I have just noticed the folder at the bottom right on Mel's desktop. More cat photos? Is it the more cat photos? Oh, okay. It's this one, right? Yeah. It's got cat photos. It's because I printed out cat photos at one of those photo machines because I wanted to put together an album. Hi, TNT Elliot's in the house. Elliot. All right. So when I do this, when I look at this, it's like there are very clear parts. They're very clear title cards, and the title cards work as a kind of introduction. Chancel Beat says, I approve of the more cat photos folder. Yeah. Thanks. Obviously I love cats. I'm actually wearing a cat print dress right now. So, yeah. I know what I'm going to be when I'm really, really, really old. I'm going to be one of those crazy cat ladies with, like, a cardigan that's far too large for her body. And, like, 20 cats. Yeah. Big old Dave Dude says, if you don't have enough cat pics to warrant a more cat pics folder, then do you even like cats? I guess you're just like a cat enthusiast, but you're not a real, like, committed crazy cat person. This is what I'm guessing. Okay, so when you watch this scene, like this next one, and I'm muting it. I'm muting the music. What do you get from this? Like, other than, like, strange sort of, like, homoerotic undercurrents. Sorry. No, seriously, though. What can you tell from this? This is supposed to be an energetic scene, right? It's energetic, it's fast, it's exciting, it's fun, it's all about, like, it's competitive, but it's fun, and you also get an introduction to the main character. Yeah. Sorry. So Array of Emotion says bouncy. True. Big old Dave Dude says, now that's all I get from it. Oh, the the homoerotic undercurrents. Yeah. So when you see something like this, to me, it's like it's a bunch of guys having fun. They're all having fun. They're rich. And these are clearly guys who are in fairly good shape because they're running. And like, when's the last time you had a run? Am I right? And so something like this, to me, would be like this. Okay, so something like that, it's very energetic. That's what it says to me. Okay. So I think one of the ways that you can if you ever start scoring, if you guys ever start scoring, this is like, this may be helpful, I don't know. But you have to watch the scene a million fucking times, like over and over again. And yeah. So, let's see, what does it say? Array of Emotion says, oh man, too true. I hate running. The whole running thing. When was the last time you guys went running? Robin says, you're right. When is the last time? Question mark. I wonder. Array of Emotion says, the transition to the low strings is ever so slightly ominous. Ah, Wizard Supreme is in the house. Hello, Wizard Supreme. Wizard Supreme is asking, how are you? I am okay. I am attempting to explain the shit that I do, and I'm trying to not suck. How are you doing? Okay. Array of Emotions, you mentioned the transition to the low strings. By the way, it's when you're this film, to me, requires a lot of transitions, like sort of like, so like if you're a DJ and you're like, you know, you're blending stuff, you know, so it like lines up, and then it's like, you know, you don't just like stop a song and then just start it. That's not how it goes. When you're DJing, you want it to like flow smoothly. You want it to go, one song to go into the other, and there's a kind of overlapping, you know, and you have to line it up. And so when you are creating something with you have like two very different emotionally, like two very different emotions in these scenes. You've got fun, you've got, you know, a bunch of, yeah, just these guys having fun, you know. But here, this is not really, it's guys having fun, but it's really, it's all sexually charged. It's all about like sex and like having fun in the other way. Yeah. Oh, big old Dave Dude says, all clowning aside, I seriously look forward to these streams because as a musician / producer, I learned so much hearing you explain your work. Oh, thank you. I hope so. God. Anyway, so you see like these two scenes, they're back to back, and they're so close to they're just right next to each other. So doing a transition makes sense, and doing a transition using some of the same instruments will help ease it into there a little, like it's just slip it in there a little bit better. So you've got like, you know, so you've got like strings, and you've got strings and that low sort of like, I don't know, it's just it's helpful to kind of carry over an instrument, or to like introduce an instrument earlier, or to sort of like, it's almost like you're again, you're subconsciously priming people so that when you do play something that features that instrument heavily, they'll be ready for it. It won't be such a shock. And that's how I see this. That's how I see it when you're composing. Okay. So when I watch this, all right, I'm gonna play this without the sound so I can say some shit. All right, so yeah, so this is what's happening. All right, this has to be, so they're playing like, ooh, chase, you know, chase me, and it's like, ooh, and it's like, oh, it's sexy time in the garden, and these women are like dressed kind of like half naked, like sexy pirates with like tri-corner hats, and they're like, they all want a piece of him. They all want a piece of that main character, and of course he's like, I'll go for this one with the little the hat and the little dangly thing, and it's like, that's and you see that it's like, what are they doing? They're just chasing each other, and without the right music, this would feel super, super slow. Like, I'm already just like, fuck. Without the music, I'm like, God. All right. So there. And then you get to like a moment where it's like this, where they've slowed down a little. And that's an indicator. That's a sign. That's a reminder that you should definitely like that, slow down the music, because something's going to happen. And something does happen. So I'll play that section for you again. Okay. So with the sound. Okay. Oh, by the way, in the chat, Wizard Supreme says, "Can you do one that's World War II, or one if there's a movie about it?" I guess I don't have one right now. I would have to score. I guess, would you want me to score a movie, or you just want me to talk about the film? You'll have to tell me. Because if you want like scoring something, it's gonna take me a while. Big old Dave Dude says, "I have a work meeting in 15 minutes, but I'll be still lurking." Okay. Wizard Supreme says, "Yes, score." That's gonna have to wait. I got so much. This is taking me forever. It's long, and so I can't just start scoring projects. I have so much stuff to do, but yeah, maybe afterwards. I got a lot of stuff though. I've kind of got like too much right now. Probably. M Nights, you're here. M Night says, "Been a short while. Hope everyone is well. I'm just here to idle and listen in today." Okay, cool. I hope you enjoy it. Okay. So yeah. When you saw this scene without music, it's like, all right, it looks like it should be fun. It looks like it should be kind of sexy. It looks like it should be, you know, you should get a little bit excited. And also, what you're trying to do is find a relationship with, like, you're trying to establish a relationship with the main character in this. So the main character, Frieder, was introduced earlier in the whole running thing, right? And then where he was running and he won the race, and he's like, oh, he's the prince of the city. But you see here, he's like, this is him right here. And it's like, it's just, you need to sort of form a kind of a bond with that character, so that when something happens, you'll be more emotionally invested. So this is how this sounds, just and with the music. So you see how there were a lot of quick cuts? Like you saw quicker cuts versus earlier before that when it was just like really slow. And now it's like you see the pace is picking up. You see more movement. And when you see that, it's kind of like, hey, this is an indicator to start to maybe you should pick up the pace. That maybe you should, make it a little bit faster, make it a little bit, more vibrant, more energetic, whatever it is. Like it's a good idea to start to think about music in that way. Yeah. Wizard Supreme says, damn it, but it's all good. I understand the hard work. Yeah, I'm sorry, Wizard Supreme. But maybe like, I don't know, maybe like later. It's just right now, I got a lot of stuff. I'm sorry. Headfirst only says, there's a dark undertone to the score. It's not light and frothy at all. No, it's not. Because I always, it's not light. This is like, okay, sexy time, all right? Sexy time. How can I say this in like a way that's understandable? When I think of when I want to like convey like something that's sexy versus something that's love, lust versus love. Lust is a lot darker. It's lust, it's not sweet and it's not light. It's dark and it's intense and it's overwhelming, and there should be like, I don't know, that feeling of, obviously that feeling of mischief, but also underneath that it's like almost like your dark self, your shadow self, that part of you. We all have these sides to us, right? Gunnar Zero says, there's a reason why lust is one of the deadly sins. Yeah. Wizard Supreme says, well, wait, is this the same movie from last time when I showed you that it reminded me of the Frankenstein dog? Yes, but I'm going to share, I have like more stuff to share, more new stuff that I've made. But right now, this is the same film though. It's the same film. So one of the things I try to do is find the difference when you are doing scenes where it's a man and a woman, or like two characters who are like going to, when they're doing something naughty, that's lust. When it's something that's, that's love, it's going to be sweeter. It will always be sweeter, because love, when we think of love, it's pure. You see, it doesn't come with like those conditions. It's like yeah, and it's sacred. And that's the difference between love and lust in this film. The lust stuff, it can be, it's whatever. But love is the stuff that motivates you to fucking climb mountains, to search for somebody. Love is the thing that makes you, it's gonna make you work hard. I mean, lust, yeah, but lust is easy. Lust is quick. Lust is all like, it's all impulse. Love, on the other hand, it requires a lot more investment emotionally, and it requires you to make yourself vulnerable. And that's what you have to remember, and that's why it is portrayed as something sweeter. That's why musically I make it sweeter. So okay. Yeah, Gunnar Zero says, I like the tone you set in this. Thanks. Big Old Dave Dude says, you should be a musical therapist, because I'm learning all kinds of things about conveyance of emotion. Making me think about some deep life shit here. Thank you. Wizard Supreme says, are you working on it still, or is it's done? I'm still working on it. It's still a work in progress. I've got about, I have to say, like 30 more minutes left on it, maybe 30 left to do, maybe more than that, 40. I don't know. I still have some to do, some ways to go. And then after that, I have to like polish it up and make it super great. And then it'll be ready. This stuff isn't even like perfectly mixed, mastered, whatever. Yeah. Wizard, all right. Headfirst only says the dark side stuff. Definitely. I'm reading Jung's psychological types. Yeah, at the moment, and his thinking on the unconscious and libido. It's very relevant here. Yeah. Jungian, all the Jungian stuff about the shadow self. If you're into that shit. Yeah. It's learning about those dark parts of yourself, and lust. It's like. For this character, it's a very dark part of it himself. But love is something else. And Biggle Davey says, okay, going to lurk mode. I'll be back to yell soon enough. All right. Bye. Bye. Wizard Supreme says, what? Really? It has been weeks. I've been working on a musical. Wizard Supreme. I have to like polish a musical. I've been working on that. I had to switch to a musical and then switch back to this. Because I needed some time to kind of stop and watch the film some more and then do some more work on it. And so when you are like, if you've got like multiple projects, sometimes it can be like you can get overloaded with one and then you have to switch to the other. And so that's what I did. And so while you were gone, I shared an entire musical that I wrote about a story that I also wrote. And so, and now I'm back to this. So it's like I have to kind of go back and forth because I'm not a machine. And also when you take a break and you come back to it, you might have better ideas than, if you had just sat down and just done it. Robin says, oh yeah, that one sounded great. Thanks. Yeah, so when you see something like this, it's like you see it starts to catch up. This is all lust. And Array of Emotions was right in the chat. These women have been groomed for this. These women have literally been groomed to be sexual toys for him. That's and it's sad, but it's unfortunately this is how this world works. So yeah, I'm gonna play this part for you. I'll lower it down a little because like, yeah. So you see how the tone changes? And there was a transition. So this is that switch from lust to love. And he looks at her differently. I'm gonna lower this down a little. So you can see the main character, the male character, he's in this connection with her. It's a bond that's already forming. Notice the way the vocals are here versus earlier during the chases. So when you, sorry, I have to like turn this thing up again. So yeah, when you, the way I change my voice when I'm doing the singing for this, for the sexy lust-filled scenes. It's all dark, you know. It's dark and it's like yeah, but it's like yeah, like that, like ooh yeah, and it's like oh yeah, you go, like fuck, just have a fucking good time. But with this, it's like sweeter. It's like it's a lot lighter, and I change my voice so it doesn't have that kind of, you know, that heaviness. It's all sweet and light and innocent, and it's falling in love. And again, when I talk about like love and lust, conveying either one, it's like, how do you know it's love? How do you know it's lust? You can tell by the movements. You can tell by the, you know, by the facial expressions. If your actors are any good, they're gonna show it, and you'll understand it, and you'll know. Okay. So, Wizard Supreme, thanks for the applause. Array of Emotion says, love how that first piano note lines up perfectly with his head going up. Yeah, that's on purpose. When I talked about, like, finding your beats and stuff, and I mean that. Like, and you can't do that with everything in this film. You just can't, all right? That's, like, totally impossible. You can't line everything up to all the beats, because it's not made that way. It's not, like, made like a song. You know, it has a different kind of rhythm. Each scene is different. So not everything will have that automatic, like, oh, I'm going to do this rhythm. Not everything will have that indicator. You kind of have to create that for yourself. So, yeah. Oh, Wizard Supreme says, man, come on, this is heart-touching. Aw, thanks. It is, right? Oh, God. And Headfirst Only says, do you think Frieder could sell the emotion anymore? It's not subtle. No. He is magnificent. I fully believe he is in love. And if he is not in love with her, wow. Like, he sells it. This is why he's the main character. Like, this is why he's the main man. Because he's just, like, giving it. He's giving it to you. He's selling it. Array of Emotion says, do you think he was a theater actor? It would explain his exaggerated gestures. This is 1927. Probably when they're filming this, 1925. Okay? It was always, before that, it was always theater. It was like vaudeville. It was overly expressed stuff, all exaggerated stuff. There was no sort of subtlety. It's not like you know, highbrow theater. It was like da-na-na-na-na-na, bump. You know, it's like, it's that kind of shit. And that's what actors did. And in silent films, because you didn't have dialogue, you just didn't have any dialogue before talkies. So you had to kind of create the dialogue with your body. So you have to use your hands. You have to use, you know, like he's clutching his heart, you know, and his face is like, pained, and he's in love, but he's like, oh my God. So, but you can't make a sound because they didn't have that. And so all the gestures, everything, a lot of actors had a hard time transitioning from silent films to talkies, to films with sound. Once sound came along, it was like, I think a lot of actors had to learn not only how to speak it, because not all of them were well spoken. Not all of them had, you know, easily understandable accents. Yeah. Brave Emotion says, see, also Singing in the Rain. Yeah. So, yeah, you can see, like, with a lot of these, yeah, exactly, in the scene where he's like, I love you, I love you, I love you. And she's like, oh! Or she, that little nut. Yeah, and because they don't really know what to say. When it was silent films, it was like, I don't really know what to say. There's not really dialogue to say. You know, so you kind of just, you know, you have to kind of fill it in with your head. But once talkies rolled around, it's like now we have to actually pay attention to script, to dialogue, to how these actors sounds, how all the actors sound, to how they get picked up, how the voices work with each other, how the people play off each other, just dialogue wise, and these are all these things. It just adds to the complexity of making a film. And so when it was just silent film, it's just bodies. It's bodies, and it's like, you know, it's a little bit more exaggerated still. And even now, like even in this film, Head First Only says, it's a good question, but film had already evolved a pretty sophisticated visual language by 25 or so. Yeah. And I think that definitely films, when they were doing that transition from, like, you know, silent to talkie, it's just like you saw the movements were just a little bit less, they became less exaggerated. You know, like when somebody leaned over, it wasn't like in a silent movie it'd be like really stretching, and you know, and then you see like more casual movements. Yeah. Head First Only says, remember Battleship Potemkin was 1925 too. Watch that and you'll be amazed at how it handles cuts and parallel action and stuff. It's probably like it's probably like really, really well done. I haven't seen it, but I will watch it then. Wizard Supreme says, what's the actor's name? I want to Google it. Oh shit, I don't know. I totally forgot his name. The guy who plays Frieder. Somebody Google it. Marsha says, I was watching a documentary about the French guy who first created the camera to add sound to film. I am trying to remember his name. Yeah, it's just like Gustav Froelich, says Head First Only, for the main character, the guy that plays Frieder. Yeah. So you see this kind of movement. You see it has to be clear that he's falling in love, and this is like, it just has, these emotions have to be very clear to the people watching them. But that's how score also helps. It's like you're giving that emotion. So you're selling him falling in love. You have to sell it. And you have to convince the people who are watching that he is in fact in love with a person who he has never spoken to, never touched, never had a conversation with, never, you know, barely in the same room. It's a huge, huge, like, set. And he's not even like in the same shot with her. And you have to think about that. You have to sell somebody falling in love at a distance. And yeah, it's like, yeah, and he sells it, and music helps to sell it too. All right, so okay, I sort of like when I started like writing, I wrote stuff down. Okay, I prepared some shit I wrote down, because when I'm scoring, I want you to sort of understand not just how I do it, but like what are the things I look at. So I'm gonna read. So one, when you're scoring something like this, like a silent film, watch a scene over and over. You have to feel it. You have to know it. You get a feel for the starts and the stops, because they might not be as obvious as they are like in modern films. Okay. So you really need to know it. You need to know where the beats are. You need to watch it. Just watch it over and over again until you've almost memorized it. And ask questions. All right. So what's the purpose of this scene? So this, for example, this scene, this part, it was to show, to introduce the female protagonist, and also to create the motivation for the main character, Frieder. Okay? What emotions is it supposed to convey on the part of the characters? So he falls in love. It's very clear by his like whole like that, like look, he's holding his heart, and she's like trying to like, set up and be like, hey, I like you too. And he's like, I'm not even looking at you, girl. I'm not even looking at you with your fantastic jewelry. Because she's got some bomb-ass jewelry, I gotta say. I love her accessories. I am here for it. Wizard Supreme, by the way, says he was born in 1902 and died in 1987. And yeah, Head First Only says he has a stage background. Frieder, this guy, this handsome face. All right. So you see, like, what does it show? All right, when you watch this, yeah, it's like you see him, and he's taken. He's already enchanted. This is him becoming like, just sort of being curious, being enchanted. All right. So, and then this is the introduction of the female protagonist, Maria. All right. And with children. So it already, when I was talking about lust and love, part of the reason why he's falling in love versus falling in lust is because she's surrounded by children, and that gives off a real nurturing vibe. Okay, so she's coming off as very nurturing, not matronly, just nurturing, kind, loving. And when you look at her, it's like she's, like, look at her face. Look what she's wearing. She's wearing like a very modest outfit. Her face is like really sweet. And like, look at all these chicas. They're like, oh my god, I have like all the lipstick and I'm half naked. And in stark contrast, they've got these very complicated outfits, ruffles, some clearly metallic shit going on, high heels, certainly for that time. And then you've got her, and you look at her, and she's modest, and she's covered up, and she's got like this very angelic look about her. I mean, she's got fair hair, so she's got light colored hair. Her eyes are light. Her skin is pretty fair, and she has an angelic quality to her. And surrounded by these children, it's not lust that you get from this character. It's love. It's the promise of love. The promise of something deep. And so you look at, them, and she says, look, these are your brothers. And of course he's like fascinated. This chica, she's like, what the fuck? Who is this weird lady wearing long sleeves in a garden? But I mean, you look at her face, and there are these guys that try to like stop her, and they're like, you gotta leave. And so you see the way she looks at them, she's like, bitch, step back. You better step back. You better back the fuck up. Because she's like, she may be loving, she may be kind, but she's not weak. And that's something we really like about her. That's one of those qualities that are, it's one of those qualities that's super admirable. And you see that she's protective over these children. And she's, so this is a woman who has integrity, who has character, and who is not going to be pushed around, and is not going to be used as a toy, as a sex, like a sex toy. She's not going to be like those other girls. All right, those other girls are like, whatever. This girl, she's clearly like, she's, it's like what is it, fuck, marry, kill. That's it. Okay, all right, there's that game that you play. It's fuck, marry, kill. All right, so fuck, that's the lust. Okay, marry, that's the love. Kill, that's anger and rage. Okay. Wizard Supreme says, you better back up or I'll backhand your dumb ass. Yeah, she's giving it because she's like, I'm not gonna like take this shit. And I want you to watch, like, hold up, where is that? There's this face that she makes right here. She does this. See her face? How it's like her head is just slightly bent downward, but she's looking right at him. It's right at the camera, and it's very clear that she's like, this is a person with strength in their eyes. This is strength. It's not looking for approval. It's not looking for, like, please tell me I'm beautiful. It's not that shit. She's got steel in there. And it's great to see that, because she's like she's a great character. Okay. So, emotions. All right. And how are we as an audience supposed to feel? What are the things we are supposed to feel from this? You're supposed to feel what the character is feeling. So I'm supposed to feel like the connection that they have. And in other scenes, you feel different things. All right. So let's see. So let's see right here. I'm going to have to. So certain scenes give you certain emotions, and when you have to score them, it's not like you're just gonna do a lovely like something like this. It's not gonna be like a lovely little like sweet violin medley or whatever. This is not like, look at this setup. This is all machinery. It's dark, and in this it's like, what's the purpose of it? The purpose of this is to show you how horrific it is. You're supposed to see how terrible it is, and how terrible it is in contrast to someone like this who has everything. And he's got like a fantastic easy life, and he's like running races and shit, having sex with whoever he wants, and then like this is his every day, like every day I'm doing this shit. But like look at that versus that, and you see, look, he's wearing white, and the other people are dressed in dark clothing. Why? Because white, he doesn't have to get dirty. And you notice he's like wearing lighter colored clothes because he doesn't have to work, and he doesn't have to worry about that stuff. And I'm sure like he's probably got a change of clothes everywhere, so like no biggie. Plus, he's our main character, so he's kind of like, he should stand out. He's our like, our little hero character. Wizard Supreme says he reminds me of Jack in Titanic, to be honest. What? Really? Oh, Headfirst Only says the butler almost has Eldon Tyrell's glasses. Let's look at those glasses. Is it those? These like strange little hexagonal things. I don't know who Eldon Tyrell is, but if he's got glasses like that, that's pretty dope. Because I really like this design. It looks amazing. All right. So it's very clear what the start and stop is. With this, it ends here. Because here's a title card. It's very clear where it stops. Okay, and when you go through the whole film, when you go through some scenes like this, it's very clear where it stops and it starts. And you're looking for oh, Headfirst Only says, yeah, like the boss guy in Blade Runner. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just like not even, when I see the word Tyrell, I first think of Game of Thrones. I'm so sorry. And then it's like Blade Runner. But it's and those, don't they do the potato chips as well, the crisps? Yeah. I don't know. I'm pleased. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So, so if you have to create your own start and stop, then you're gonna have to do it according to the contents of the scene, right? All right. So it's very clear what the start and stop is of this, because you get scene changes. And when you have like a longer scene, for example, a really long one, like the one that's coming up, like that one, this takes flippin' forever compared to the other ones. All right, the other scenes, they were like, it's like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, the running thing that was just barely anything. This one is actually really long compared to the other ones. So you see it's still there, still happening. So it's like, this takes time, the scene. So when you have something like that, you can't just do soft stuff. You have to create the structure within it so that it will allow you to kind of change it up. So that's why when I did this scene, it was, hold on. So it's a very clear beat. So I'm putting in a very clear beat. It's meant, and the reason why I do that is so it creates a structure within the scene so that you can take the scene, which is longer, a lot longer than the other scenes, and you can break it up into sections in your own way, and it'll allow you to change up the music, because nobody wants to just listen to the same fucking music. Wizard Supreme says, "Damn, I'm gonna spit some bars in this beat." Oh, I do. Hold on. This whole beat, I do a whole like hip hoppy thing. Hold up. Hold on. Here, I'll play the beginning for you. So you're changing it up. Again, you're taking the beat, we add elements. There are similar elements, or the strings coming in. There's piano, so piano and strings have been used before. So when I talked about changing it up, adding change-ups, this is what you can do. So you still keep the theme, you still keep the mood, you still keep the rhythm, but you're just changing it up, so it's not repetitive anymore. So that's what one of the things I did for this scene, because it's a bit longer and because there are different sections to it, how I see it. There's when Frieder comes in. Okay, how does it go? It's the establishment first of the father character. This is the father character, all right? That's the main character's father. We have to learn who he is. So what's the purpose of the scene? It's the introduction of this character, this character. So, and how the workplace is. So you see this, what he's doing here. He's gesturing for him to stop. Wizard Supreme says, damn, she's the next Dr. Dre. The drop in that was very nice. Thank you. Thanks. Oh, why is my cat meowing at me? What are you doing, pal? What are you doing, Miss Pickles? All right. So what you're learning from this is that this is the relationship that he has with his son. He's not like a doting father. He's a busy father who doesn't have time for shenanigans, all right? He's no nonsense, and you can tell by the way his facial expressions are. You could see, like, these guys, they're just faceless workers, you know? We don't really care about them. They're not here for us to care about them. And the reason is because they're still doing the same action that they do in the beginning. And the only time they stop doing that action is when they leave. That's it. So this is what they do. They write shit down. They listen and they write shit down. So you see that he's like, oh shit, I gotta like close the door really quietly, and he's gotta be like careful, and he's shaken. He's had some shit happen. And who's the guy that comes and comforts him? It's not the father. It's it's Josephat. It's the father's kind of like, not, I guess, secretary, but also like, you know, it's the guy who works for him. And so this is also how you learn. What do you learn from this scene? It's the establishment of the father character and the Josephat character, and the relationship between this character and this character, and of course the father. So you see the way he's reaching out to him, like he's touching him. That's already an intimate thing. To touch somebody is intimate. It implies a kind of relationship. So you know how like you talk about like personal space and you don't want people in your personal space? Part of it is because we don't like to be touched by strangers. You know, I want to at least know you before I give you a hug, or at least have an introduction, okay? Or be very drunk. One of those. Or high. Okay, so you see like he's allowing himself to look vulnerable, to look hurt, to look scared in front of this character who he trusts clearly, because this character has a bigger heart. He's more emotional. He's maybe more sensitive. And you see the father, the father is not concerned. He's like, whatever. Okay? And so this whole scene, it's long, okay? Goes all the way. And it's you don't stop the scene until for like ages. It goes on. So when you do that, when you have a scene that is long like that, you have to break it up into sections. So you have to allow for change-ups within that. You're creating a structure within a long scene so that you can make sure it's not repetitive. So something like that. Now you listen to this music. So you still have the same kind of rhythm. You still have, you know, some of the same instruments or the same synths used in there, but you're changing it up. You're changing up the bass line. You're changing up the chord progression. You're changing up a lot of things, but you still have enough connecting elements so that everything's still, like, auditory wise, it's still a gelled element. You know, it's still a gelled scene. So again, it's like you have to create that structure within it, because this scene isn't over yet. Boom, it's still going, you know? So it takes a long ass time for that interaction, for those interactions to just stop, for the scenery to change. It takes a long time, and it's just, when you have something like that, you have to be able to, like, if you don't separate it into sort of like, you know, take it and kind of create that sort of beginning, middle, end, then you'll risk sounding repetitive. Your music won't have the same impact because it'll be repetitive. Array of Motion says, how long are we in that office for? Let's see. All right, let's see. So around. All right, and including the you know, they're still in the seat. They're still in it. They're still in the office. Still in the office. Still in the office. And this is the only time where he's like, they start leaving the office. Okay, what was that? 10 minutes at least? So you've got like, and shit, 10 minutes. 10 minutes in a fucking silent film is a lot, okay? If you were just to watch 10 minutes of silence, it would just be like, you know, I would, yeah. Raven Motion says, at least it's cut up with a couple of skyline shots, but still, that's long. Yes, it is. So within this, you have to create your own start and stop. You have to be able to, you know, there are parts where I stop, I go, you know, I do little transitions, and then I go on like a different, you know, with a different bass line, or I bring back a theme from before. And so by doing, you know, callbacks, again, you're allowing for your score to gel. Okay. So for this, you have to build. You have to be able to build your music. When you have to create an emotion, like it has to be built. It can't just be forced. Emotion is not, it's not a brute force sort of thing. It has to feel organic, okay? And because it has to feel natural. You can't just put like all the violins or all the strings and all the things in just one moment in the beginning, because you won't. It's gonna be too much. You need to set it up for your viewer, for your audience, for your listener, whatever. You have to allow it to build. If you don't build it, then you won't be able to create the emotional impact and almost a kind of catharsis. Every scene has a purpose. You know, sometimes it's to introduce characters and also their motivations. Sometimes it's to take care of a problem. Sometimes it's to show to show what a character wants, their desires, and how they go about fulfilling those desires. Everything has every scene should serve a purpose and should be intentional. And when you're making something like this, where it's like it's a very long sequence, you have to also be able to discern what the points are for each section. So if you're separating this a long scene into sections, then you have to give each section a purpose. So maybe this one shows aggression, or this one conveys like some kind of future ideas, or about, you know, the futuristic vision of the city, or this one is about, you know, and in the same, at the end of that scene, the character goes a little crazy. And it's like you have to be able to find all those emotional beats, like Head First Only said, like spotting. You have to be able to look at it, but you don't even have the aid of dialogue. You just have to kind of look at it and create your own structure. So a film will generally have like a beginning, a middle, a climax, and an ending. And within that, there may be like a catharsis or some kind of, you know, that moment, the moment that just allows you, you know, you build up the emotion, and then the release, and then at the conclusion of that. So when you're looking at a film, you can see that, you know, it's very obvious in like in a Marvel movie, you know, it's very obvious 3-act kind of movie. But when you're looking at something like this, it's a little, it might be harder to discern. Okay, so in order to find it, you have to watch over and over and over again. Just watch the shit out of it and learn to memorize it, so that you kind of subconsciously you absorb the rhythm of it, and so then you can create your own musical rhythm. Okay, what else? I wrote some more notes. Okay, yeah. So when there are turning points, when you have like a scene like all right, let's see. Okay. Let me find one that I haven't played a whole lot. Tick, 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 tick. Sorry. I'll go here. You know, I'll just start from the beginning of this one. Sorry. Okay. So here. So this, you know, this is about this character. This is introducing this character because you've never seen him before, and he's got his own title card, okay? Oops, sorry. Shit. Ah, there it goes. Okay, so what you see is you see the introduction of the professor character. You see the dad character, Yo Friederson, and you see what connects these two people, because these two people are very much like very different. Okay, this guy is like dressed up in a suit. He's got money. He's got power. He's got the city in his hands, and this guy looks like a mad scientist. I mean, look at him. He's got a fucking robot hand. And you see what connects these two guys, which is this. A character who is not even there, who is not even alive. It's a woman who they were both in love with, but who died, and who chose him over the scientist guy. So you're getting motivations. You're getting motivations as to what everyone, not just a history, but the anger, the sadness. What are the things that motivate people to do the things that they do? And what would motivate somebody to create a huge monument to somebody who's dead? It's because it's to revere them. It's to remember them, but also pay, reverence and honor to them. And it's a big deal. And you see that this hand, just the hand gesture, it's like, it's anger, it's tense, it's emotional, it's full. And it's all like, and look at his face. He's like, you just see him, and he's got, he doesn't, you can see when he's sad, you can see when he's angry. And most of the time, he's not smiling, all right? And you can tell this is a guy who is not warm. He's a bit cold. But when it comes to the idea of this woman, to this woman, it's like, this is the only time where you really see him. This is the first time you see him soften. It's the first time he shows any kind of vulnerability. And you see he's got wild eyes. They're big and they're wide, and look at his posture. Look how he's leaning. He's angry, and he's frustrated, and he's just like, bitch, I'm not, it's like he is like, look at him, like, look at the body language. So when you're seeing this, when you're looking at this, if you just watch it without any sound, you have to, finding the pacing, finding the pacing within that is like, it's kind of weird. You have to create your own structure within something. And it's the beginning, middle, end. What's the beginning, the middle, and the end of this scene? The beginning is you meet the character, all right? You meet the character of the inventor of Rotfang, all right? That's the beginning. The middle, it's middle is you see the relationship between these two men, that they both love the same woman. Climax, for me, she is not dead. For me, she lives. So you see, he's still holding on to that. He's still holding on to this obsession with this woman who maybe didn't love him back. We don't know. But he's still holding on to it. And he's angry, and he's like, he sacrificed his fucking hand to build her. He basically built a robot that resembles her, and by doing so, in doing so, lost his hand. So he had to build a robot hand, and he's like, it's totally worth it, you know. Like, look at him, he's like, worth it, you know. So look, if you see that, kind of, that sort of obsessiveness. You see the amount of sacrifice he's willing to give for this, and that's and then what's the conclusion? What? So the climax is like, yeah, I still, for me, she's still alive, and I lost my hand, and I'm still angry at you, but it concludes with him going like, hey, you want to see her, and that's how you find it end. And so with everything in this, it's like you have to find all those pieces, all those things that sort of, you know, all those things that make it, I don't know, how can I say this? Like, when you're watching a normal, like a modern movie, it's a little bit more obvious. And with a lot of older movies, it's, you know, certainly with these silent films, it's not as obvious. And so you have to make it a little bit more obvious for the viewer with the music. So you have a beginning, middle, end kind of thing. You build it. So something like this. All right, I'm going to play this part for you because I think it's it's one of those things where it's like it builds really well. Hold on. Herp. So I'm building this, okay? So we change it up a little. So you see how it's like it went from like it's like when you're scoring, when I'm scoring this, I like to do waves of things, all right? So there's a part that's fuller, and then it goes into something quieter, and then it builds up into something bigger again. And so by giving that, you're giving contrast to these sounds, all right? It's not just adding stuff on top of each other and then like, that's it. you have to, again, you got to make it move, you got to make it flow. Brave Emotions asks, same metallic sounds as the opening. I don't think so. I think I do use something in there, but I can't remember. Maybe. Sorry, I'd have to look at the file again, and that will take forever. Okay. So you see, I did that nice little beat, and the reason why I did that was to make all this stuff go by more quickly, because this is a bunch of stuff. It's like I don't really need to know everything, absolutely all the details. So that means I don't have to slow down. That means I can go a little faster, go at a regular rhythm, go at a regular pace. And so what it leads to oh, there's still that pad. That kind of steamy pad? That's from the beginning. So you see, it's breaking. It's like breaking down a little, and it's transitioning. So it's transitioning again to a different chord progression. Wizard Supreme says, "I feel like I'm in school. I'm sorry." So again, you've got the little connecting elements like dun 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 dun. So now the rhythm sort of stops. It's like you get to breathe a little. Array of Emotion says, normally that feeling is reserved for a head first only stream. Sorry. So. And then building. Back up again. So notice there's no beat in here, all right? Because I want you to slow down a little. I want you to absorb it. Okay, now we get a rhythm. Now we get a rhythm. Dun, dun. Build. So we get a rhythm. Dun, 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 dun. dun, 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 dun. Pause. And so that's, again, it's like waves. It's a, you know, you have a cool thing, you know, you have something with a rhythm, a very clear beat. It slows down, and then you start back with a rhythm, but the rhythm is not like before. It's just using that low, sort of like that cello, that, you know, those short cello hits to like give you that rhythm. And you can use like anything to, you know, any instrument you want to create that, you know, that sort of the secondary beat. Okay. You guys are like talking about the how I'm trying to teach. I'm just trying to like show you what I'm doing. If you really, I can just like, I'm just gonna skip over to I'll skip over to the new stuff now. All right, so last time, Wizards Supreme says, I can see like Spider-Man swinging above people with this beat, and the people under Spider-Man are like, respect. I don't know why, to be honest. I don't know. But so this is, again, we're what I'm doing is I'm trying to create the sort of like that wave. You know, you get louder stuff that moves faster, and then you slow it down, and then you speed it up again, and then you slow it down. And what that does, it keeps it moving. It keeps it moving in a way where it doesn't feel like it's too much all the time. Because if you were just to do beat all the time, like just relentless, pretty soon you're just like, oh my god, I feel like I'm being hammered in my ears. I feel like I'm being assaulted. And it's like, you don't want that. You want people to appreciate it. You want them to absorb that feeling. And when you want them to slow down, you know, when you want them to stop and you want them to really take in the emotions, you want them to focus on the emotions, then you slow down a little. Don't make it You have to slow it down a little and just give them that room, that space to like allow it to sink in, because it gets lost if you're always doing like a hard beat or something like that. Then you won't have those emotional moments of vulnerability, of slight quiet. So let's see. Okay, so last time we were watching this, we saw that she got captured, and I'll play that last one for you. So, all right, when I talked about like transitioning again, so you find out they're going to meet in the cathedral. They're supposed to meet in the cathedral. They meet, they kiss. And you hear that, like, that soft kind of clarinet, that's the flutter of emotions. I notice it's really close. It's not meant to be like, you know, because they're close physically, in proximity with each other. They're close, so it's closer and it's more intimate. Okay, so piano, intimacy, and this is the voice of love versus lust. Do you see how much airier it is? That's love. Yeah, and slow. Array of Emotion says, and slowing down to match her slower movements. Exactly. Do you see her dreaming? It's holding her heart, dreaming, thinking about it. And then so you hear that? So that's the transition instrument. This is the connecting element. Building. Remember, I'm building. Okay? This is a dialogue. It's a dialogue between him and her. and she doesn't know it. See? Imposing, darker, and she's that high little like piccolo-y sound, that fluty sound. So again, we're building this, okay? It just can't be suddenly very, very scary, or else you won't feel the impact. Okay? So it builds again. See? You can feel it. That fast-moving string, it's causing anxiety. The secondary thing, more anxiety. So it's 2 octaves of anxiety. So you see it's picking up pace, it's building. So more anxiety. And now we've got rhythm. We've got the drums, and that's our rhythm. Bum, bum. Notice it got louder. It's getting louder, progressively louder. Yeah. And then one final crash. And there we go. And that was the last. That was that part of that was that section. So again, it's building, and it's like, yeah. All right, I'm gonna go back into this whole like. This whole chat. Array of Emotion said it's almost as much as a Jackbox murderer game. Yeah, I know, right? It's anxiety. It's made you need to feel anxiety because you need to connect with that character. This scene is not only to show how fucking scary Rotfang can be and how scary he can be with a flashlight, because that is seriously the scariest flashlight scene ever, but also how fucking vulnerable and terrified she is. You need to feel terror. It's fear, it's anxiety that evolves into being absolutely horrified and out of her mind. Oh, hey, Beaker, you're here. Beaker Sullivan in the house. Okay, so Array of Emotion says this section's really amazing. Thanks. I really love this section. Headfirst Only says, thankfully, this is a little more nuanced in the Hans Zimmer brap approach. Yeah. Hans Zimmer, at least he got to work with dialogue and stuff. So I can't just hit a brap approach here with this because, you got to build it. You got to make them feel it. You need to make sure that when it hits those last hits, you know, that those last drum hits, you need to fucking feel it, and you hear that breath, the sharp inhale and exhale. By the way, that's me as well. And then you need to understand that this is like getting scary. It's serious. It's not just like, oh, we're on a little chase. No, it's like, I am fucking scared. She is scared. She is trying to escape, and she can't, and she is trapped. And being trapped is one of the most frightening things ever. And I know, because I've been trapped before. In an elevator, in a lift, I've been trapped. I've also been trapped in like one time it was in my office building in this where I worked before in Korea, and like there was something messed up with the door the handle, and they had to call in a worker to like to screw the hinges off the door so that they could get it open again, because I was trapped in there with another teacher, and it was like we couldn't get out, and the knob wasn't, it was just permanently locked for some reason. It just jammed. So yeah, being trapped. Frightening. Okay, so yeah, Array of Emotions is like, yeah, she's really selling it. Yeah, she is, huh? She makes mad good faces. And Head for Only says, I love the French horn yelps. Yeah, that. Yeah, it's, you know why? It's like there. It's almost like, to me, it's like almost like a horn that's asking for help. It's like, like, you know, like, you know, it's and it's sounds wild and it sounds uncontrolled, and this is what's happening right now. This is not an emotionally controlled situation. It is frightening, and so you have to reflect that as well. Beaker Sullivan says, I feel it in my jellies. Yeah, I hope so. At first only, I love the fact that Rotfang means Mr. Rosy Cheeks, which somehow isn't so scary. Yeah, I know. Rot means red, Vang is a cheek, and yeah, Mr. Red Cheeks. I just thought that maybe it was just like, oh, maybe he's like that makes you think of jolly old Santa. It's not fucking jolly Santa. But yeah, okay. So this is what happened last time. I tried to play the new section for you in Ableton Live. Let me quit this. And then let me see if I can play it. That way I can show you the instruments I'm using. But also, if I can't, then I've rendered it. So you're fine. So I can still show you what I've done. Okay, so last time, we're here. So I hope this doesn't choke up on me. But if it does, if it starts stuttering too much, I'm going to play it. I'll take the rendered version. Okay, and the rendered version, by the way, it's not super mixed or mastered. It's just like, I just tried to like do a quick render because I didn't have time. All right, so wish me luck. Okay, so shit. Oh, sorry. So the repetition of the theme. So church, bells, organ. Thanks, Head for Stonely. Transition. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's like overloading a little. Shit. Okay, I'm sorry. It's having issues, so I'm just gonna switch to the rendered version. I'm really sorry. Okay, let me just switch over to this, because that's a pain in the arse. And I'm gonna like feel really bad if you don't get all the instruments, because every instrument, again, it's put in there for a reason. Alright. Alright, so... There. There. Sorry. Okay, so if you recognize the song, it's from when this character, Georgie, first went to Yoshiwara. And the instrument, remember I told you about that weird stringy, like banjo-y sounding instrument? It's always the Thin Man. So this is this is like the auditory indicator of that. So do you see how that harp picked up double time now? Dun 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 dun. So okay, you hear that dun dun? That was Josephat's theme when he was gonna kill himself. So I'm calling back, so you remember it's Josephat. So these are auditory indicators. So the banjo-y sound sounds like Thin Man, okay? And Josephat's always the dun dun. You know, the 1-2 note. To me, this is the saddest part, because the character of Georgie, has to go back. And look at his face. He's like, oh my god. So it's a callback. That was a callback to the office scene. Okay. Anxiety. And the dialogue. And it's like the little like game is up. He knows. It's a callback. Okay. All right. I had to render it like long, so I haven't finished with this section. I've only gotten to a certain part. Um but I still need to add to it, so I can't play that for you. But okay. There you go. That's the new stuff. And yeah, I know, right? Okay, like let me go back into this whole like chat thing. Wizard Supreme says the chasing scene reminds me of when I went out with Halloween with my friends. It was 2016, so you know the clown thing was going on. Oh yeah, the one with the clowns that would attack people or something, or yeah, it was a legit thing. And we went into abandoned school, and one of my friends had a clown mask and a clown costume, so we did hide and seek in abandoned school, and we saw balloons attached to the floor. And by the way, the room was huge, so it had like 4 or 3 doors, and so me and my friends went to the balloons, and to our right it was a door next to the balloons. And Jesus Christ, this is a long story. It was a door next to the balloons. Then 5 seconds later we heard a honk. Okay. Yeah. Hi, big old Dave, dude. Guess who's back? Oh, this is live. Array of Emotion says, welcome back. Those beats in the Thin Man Joseph had seen were crazy. Thank you. What that's meant to do is sort of introduce, like, sort of, this is like where it gets the electronic section, you know? It's like I'm starting to introduce more electronic stuff and more like, this kinds of beats, because you're gonna get to like this whole scene. It starts getting really electronic, okay? And that's why it's like I need to ease those sounds into you, because we started out with like organ, you know? It was organ, and it was, you know, like softer, it was vocal, and then it just sort of progresses. Again, you're trying to make it to change. I'm trying to anyway. I'm trying to change the genres around so that you don't get bored. You just won't get bored. Okay. That POV shot is amazing even today, says Head First Only. And that sounds really cool. Way to ratchet up the tension. Thank you! Raven Motion says, new stuff is really cool. Robin says, as a horror movie fan, I gotta say, very well done. Thank you. Thank you. Wizard Spreen says, my legs were numb. Oh, this is a continuation of the story with the clown earlier. My legs were numb after that. Then I started crying because I was scared to death. My hands were so cold. And then one of my friends said, what the fuck, I saw a clown. And then I said to Davies, stop, because my heart was numb and cold after the honk. And after that, everything was quiet. Then me and my friend said, fuck that. And then we ran for our fucking, yeah, hold on. For our fucking, yeah, lives or something. Yeah, that's it. My God. You had a frightening clown story. That's you know, that's scary, especially during that time period. If you didn't know, if what he's referring to is that during there was a year where there were like some people were dressing up as clowns and doing like they were kind of terrorizing people, like legit terrorizing people. So in America. So there you go. Yeah. All right. So with this, oh, the clown terror, big old Dave dude says. Yeah. Yeah. I started out with obviously organ. It's organs are always to me the church. M. Night says, we don't mind about genre, Dewey. The informative content is great. Oh, cool. Big old Dave dude says, I remember that shit. We're talking about the clown thing. So, okay. When I look at cathedrals, churches, anything that's religious, I think of organs. All right, I always think of organs, and I always and because there are people, I put some vocals in there. And yes, that's me doing in nomine Patre, Filii, Spiritus Sanctus, Amen. Yeah, that I did that, and that's just me. And it's also there's singing in there. There's a kind of vocal. Hold on. Let me see if I can just like show you here. If I can isolate that. Gonna look from a video window. Okay. Okay. And I can see why this was having a hard time, because there's like 90 layers in this. Okay. Alright. This is the vocal I put in there. There's a male vocal and then there's a female vocal. So this is the male. Oh, a Rave Emotion says, did you say 90? I did say 90. 90. Yes. Okay, so that's so in order to make like vocals sound really like kind of creepy or like otherworldly or unreal, I usually I stick them in reverse, and so and I give them a shit ton of reverb, and like so that's the male vocal, like that lower vocal line, but this is the one that you hear mostly, which is this. So the reason why I do that kind of reverb and that kind of delay on it, because I do like a ping pong delay and and this says long tail, but it started out as long tail and I kind of fucked with it, so I did other things. So the reason why it's like that is because the cathedral. I want to make sure that you know how big the cathedral feels. It should feel big, and so this vocal is the most. It's the one you hear the most, and so it should feel like it's massive. It should echo, and it also sounds sort of sad, like and plaintive, and you should and it does. It is kind of. It's not like a scene where people are happy, you know. This is like, it's a little somber, you know. It's all talking about, you know, the 7 deadly sins, and you know how Maria didn't come, and you're just like, shit, where is she? And also, you know that Rotwang is up to some shady ass shit. All right, okay. I'm gonna read. Big Old Dave says, I feel like we talked about this, but I feel like I remember you saying Catholic schooling, so the organ thing makes sense because I do the same. Yes, I did. I was raised Catholic. I went through Catholic school all the way through high school. So I was like full on like Catholic school. And it's just, yeah. There was a lot of churching in there. And a lot of like weird like uniforms. Headfirst Only says, C for me, big church organ equals Ozzy Osbourne's Mr. Crowley. Mr. Crowley! Yeah, I know. Yeah. I just think of, I just think of church just in general. Big Ol' Dave Dude says, ping pong delay is my favorite delay ever, 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 ever. Yeah, I know. Ever, 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 ever. Wizard Supreme says, yo, I have to go now. By the way, sorry for the long story. Are you streaming tomorrow? No, I am not streaming tomorrow. I'm trying to stream only like once a week on Wednesdays. So I'll be back next Wednesday, Wizard Supreme. Don't worry about the long story. It reminded me about the clown thing, and yeah, I forgot about that. Bill Dave Dude says, oh my god, I didn't even realize I made a delay pun. Yes, you did. Ever, ever, ever. Okay, stop it. All right. Okay, so what I do here is, obviously, I do the vocal stuff, but I also do a callback to, Rotwang. And, where are you, baby? It's this one. So, it's like, the reason why I play this is because Rotwang is there. And so, I need you to remember his whole thing. So, it's... So, remember his whole thing? It's to remind you. so that you know he's there. And so even though it's the the cathedral scene and we're mostly focused on Frieder, you get a cut back to Rotwang, and you want to sort of kind of pay homage to that, or rather kind of acknowledge that cutback, so that you remember it's like a little sort of like reminder, like, remember this guy? He's doing bad shit. He's doing bad shit. And it's like, this is why Maria couldn't meet you at the cathedral, because he's locked her up. She's trapped. And anyway, yeah. Let's see. Norshire says, Rolling Stones, you can't always get what you want. Yeah, sorry, very relaxed. Yeah, that'll do it too. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So that's how I read church. I feel like church is organs for me. Organs and sometimes like voices, depending, like a choir. But for this, it wasn't like a big choir. It was a solitary voice that sounded quite somber. And that's what you're supposed, I think with this, it's like you're supposed to feel, because you're wondering, like, he talks about, like, he talks about the 7 deadly sins. He like talks to the scary things who, this, and by the way, this freaked you out as a kid, head first only. This freaked me out. This freaked me the fuck out when I first saw it. And yeah. Who's the scariest for you? I think it's the guy with the skeleton man. I think it's Death. Skeleton man. So that's what I did for that. And I do callbacks again. I do callbacks to the instruments that I use for Thin Man. So remember, like, the Thin Man is like always, he's always this, that boing kind of sound. It's a Grim Reaper, dude. He plays air guitar. Excellent. So that's always gonna be, this sound is always Thin Man's sound, okay? It's that weird sort of banjo-y kind of odd sound. So the melody, yeah, Big Ol' Dave Dude says, callback, yeah. So that melody, it was the it's like a stepped up version of the song I played when this character Georgie was first in the car, and it's like the, do you wanna go for a ride? Do you wanna have a good time? We'll have fun. And then it was like all the flyers coming down, and he's like, it's like Yoshiwara. And so this is to like remind you, because if you think about it, this was like 30 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, whatever. So it's to remind you who this character is, because he, this guy, he's kind of stumbling out of like a club, and you're like, wait, is this the guy? This was the guy, right? And so it's you remember. But there's the Thin Man. So Thin Man, always that weirdo banjo-y sound. It's always him. And it's that, that kind of like, that sort of yeah, that's I'm gonna do bad shit. Like, I'm up to mischief, bad things are gonna happen. So there. And the music it's just like, I'm trying to do callbacks, but they're callbacks there are a lot of callbacks made in different ways with different instruments as well. So what else? Let me think. Okay. That was meant to be a build-up. And so I do a build-up because I want to introduce electronic music. Because I want to kind of progressively get more and more electronic. Gotta go, Norshar says. I love all of this inspiration. Okay. Thanks for hanging out, Belinda. See you laters. Okay. And there. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah. So by the way, things I'm using to make, the beat stuff, it's actually Isotope's Break Tweaker. Okay. And so what I do is I have like all these layers because I kind of I progress really quickly to like each one. Oh, Norjai says, thank you for the imagery. I don't know if I gave you any imagery, but all right. Cool. And let's see what else. Things I'd like to point out. Probably like tempo things. I do tempo changes here to reflect. So you can see it goes from like 80 to like 120. And the reason why it does that is because I need to get you anxious again. I need to give you that feeling of emergency because, because it slows down. This slows down. Let me see if this will play it. Hold on. Sorry, it's like so again, it's transitioning. So, brap. That's my Hans Zimmer brap. I gave it to you. Boom. Also, I gave you like lots of different combinations of drums. It's getting late. I should probably stop. And I'll just go over more of this next time because it's getting late and I don't want to keep you guys like on for too long. You did? Wait, Headburst only says you did? I did what? Did I do something? Gave you imagery or did I do something? Did I do something? I didn't explain everything, but there's a lot. I had to sort of like go through the whole like callbacks and stuff in the big, in the older file, and I had to go over stuff with you and what I see when I look at a scene. And so hopefully, oh, the Hans Zimmer. Yes, I gave you the Hans Zimmer. I'm sorry. Raven Much says, give us Hans Zimmer brap. Yeah, of course I'm going to give you that brap. I give it because it's serious and it's as when he's like chasing the shit out of her and trying to like wrestle her down, and it's like full on fucking assault. So there you go. I'll go over it more next time because it's getting late, and also like you probably you're fucking tired of hearing me talk. Okay. Anyway, thanks for hold on, let me switch back. I'm so sorry about like my computer choking, but I think every time I share something new, I'll render a file, and that way you can watch it and it won't be like because I feel really bad about that. But it's just like my computer is like not. It's just this file for some reason it won't let me like freeze everything, and then sometimes when I freeze it, it fucks up anyway, and it's just like weird. It's a weird file, and I'm just gonna start a new one after this last bit is over. So after the scene with where the machine where she gets the face of Maria, then I'll just start a new file because honestly this is a bunch of shit. I don't know what happened. It's just being weird. So I'll share the newest stuff with you next week. I'll go over some of this stuff and kind of pick up where we left off, and also explain more about how like I was looking at how I look at the scenes and how I break stuff up into sections again. If you have any questions or if you want to know anything, just ask me, send me a message, email me, whatever the fuck you want to do. You know where I am. I'm Ryako Music. I'm here. I'm there. I'm everywhere. Anyway, stay safe, be nice to each other. Try not to be like a dick if you can help it. But if you have to be a dick, then be like a really hard dick. Wear a mask. For fuck's sake, wear a mask. God damn it. I don't want to see any more people sick. It makes me sad. And yeah, I'll catch you next week on Wednesday. And remember, I love you. I love you. Oh.